the greatest number of bicycles sold was 230,000, and that was sold in year 2010. So therefore, the correct answer is E. Again, it's 30,000, 230,000. For number two, the number of bicycles sold that changed the most, the year actually that the number of bicycles sold changed the most was between 2007 and 2008. So the answer is letter B. 2007, 2008. And I can show you that between these 2 years actually was the steepest. It is the steepest change. The line is the steepest between those 2 years. So that means that more bicycles were sold between 2007 and 2008. Number three, what is the average number of bicycles sold for the 6-year period? So I simply added up all six of the by 6 of the years, and I got 1,125,000. And since there were 6 different years, I divided it by 6, and the answer was 187,500. So 187,500 is letter D. Again, that's finding the average or finding the mean. To find the median number of bicycles sold for the 6-year period, you put the numbers in order from least to greatest. And then since there's an even number of numbers, there's 6 years. So that means there is no median number right away. So you have to determine what the median number is from the 2 middle numbers. And you have to add the 2 middle numbers. So we get 210,000 plus 220,000. And that gives us 430,000. And then you take that number and you divide it by 2, which gives us 215,000 as your median number. Therefore, the answer is letter C. If there were an odd number of values, then it would be the true middle number. But in this case, again, since there is no one middle number, you take the 2 middle numbers, you find the average of the 2 middle numbers. So you add them and divide by 2. To determine which interval most students scored in, we are looking at the stem and leaf plot, and we see that between interval 50 and 59, there are a total of 6 scores. So there's one score of 50, one score of 50, another score of 50, another score of 55, another score of 55 again, another score of 55, and a score of 59. So there are scores 50, 50, 55, 55, 55, and 59. So there are a total 6 scores in that interval. So the answer is A. To determine the median score, we are going to kind of cross off the scores from both ends until we get to the middle score. So we're going to go cross that one off. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So that's 4. And then this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, this one. Looks like the median score is 70. You could also line the scores up from least to greatest, and I'm going to show you that as well. So if you line the scores up from least to greatest, then find the middle score again. 50, 50, 55, 55, 55, 55, then 59, and then 60, 69, and then since we think the middle score is 70, I'm going to put 70 in the middle there and see if I can line up the other scores. And then 85, 85, 85, 85, and then we have 90, then 90, 90, 90, and 99. So this matches that one, this one matches that, that matches that, this one matches that one, matches that, matches that, matches that. Okay, so yeah, the true middle score is 70. I think another way we could have done it is to count the number of scores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I know if I have 17 scores, that's an odd number. So I know I have to have a middle score. The middle number for 17, if it's 8 on one side, see, 8 on one end and 8 on another end, then again 70 has to be the middle score. To determine the number that occurs the most, we're looking to see that I can quickly see that there's 4 5s here, so there's 4 numbers that represent 85. So all of those numbers, see this 8 is represents the number in the tens digit, right? And we got 85, 85, 85, and 85 4 times. So the only other numbers I can see is there's 3 55s and there's 3 90s. So absolutely 85 is the number that occurs the most. Pizza is a favorite food of what percentage of students in the Venn diagram? So there are 23 students out of 50. 23 students out of 50 like pizza. So x over 100 to figure out the percent. So it's 2300. So I'm cross multiplying. Equals 50x. Divide both sides by 50. Then I will get x equals 46%. So the answer is A. 46% like pizza. Also, I'm just going to know that I did the number of students who like pizza over the total number of students. To determine what percentage of students do not like pizza or hamburgers, what percentage of students do not like pizza or hamburgers. So we see that, this could be perceived as a little bit of a trick question. Do not like pizza, just make sure, or hamburgers. We see that on the outside of the Venn diagram, there are 2 students that don't like pizza or hamburgers. So 2 out of 50 equals X percent over 100. So we have the number of students that don't like either over the total number of students. And then we can just cross multiply. 2 times 100 is 200 equals, cross multiply 50 and x, 50x. And then we divide both sides by 50. X equals 4%. So the answer is 4%, which is letter A. The Hornet football team won 8 football games and lost 4 games. Find the ratio of wins to total games in the simplest form. So the ratio of wins to losses is 8-4. So if there's the total games equals wins plus losses. So the total games would be 8 plus 4. Total games would be 12. So they want the ratio of wins to total games. So it would be 8-12. But then in its lowest form, we know that 4 goes into 8 and also 4 goes into 12. So 8 divided by 4 would be 2. And then 12 divided by 4 would be 3. So the ratio is letter D, 2-3. 2-3 is ratio of wins to the total games. A grocery store sells 5 pounds of apples for $3.50. How much would you pay for 2 pounds of apples? So we're going to make a ratio again. So the ratio will be 5 pounds. First, I'm going to start by pounds over cost. $1 over cost. So it equals 5 pounds over $3.50 equals 2 pounds over X. So then again, we're going to cross multiply. 350 times 2 is 7. And then cross multiply 5 and X equals 5X. Divide both sides by 5. Divide by 5. X will equal $1.40. I'm just going to make sure because I just eyed that. 5 into 7. Just use your calculator though. When you do this, you use your scientific calculator. Yep, $1.40. So the answer is C. So, 2 pounds of apples. 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 2 The first one, Cassie earns $15 each day she works, plus a flat rate of $50. That could be the answer, but let's read some of the others. Because $15 each day, that translates to 15D. That's right. And then the flat rate of $50, that translates to the plus 50. So that could be right. And then for letter B, Cassie earns $15 for every purchase she sells at her job. And what is M, the total amount she earns in 100 months? That doesn't really make sense. So we know it can't be that one because 100 is not even any of the values that we were given. And letter C, Cassie earns $50 each day. She works plus a flat rate of 15. So that would $50 each day would translate to 50D, and there is no 50D in the equation, so it cannot be that one either. Cassie earns D amount of dollars for every 15 items she sells. She makes $50 per day at her job. So there it is again, the $50 per day translates to 50D, and that cannot be the answer because it's 15D, not 50D. And then for letter E, Cassie earns D amount of dollars for every 50 items she sells. She makes $15 per day at her job. That's $15 per day at her job. That sounds right. But the problem is there is no flat rate, so it cannot be E because it has to be somewhere in the wording has to be a plus 50 as a flat rate, and there is not one for letter E. So the answer is letter A. There are 10 yellow counters and 15 red counters in a bag. What is the probability of picking a yellow counter from the bag? So there are 10 yellow. So 10 yellow. And there are 15 red. What is the probability of picking a yellow counter? So there's 25 total counters. Total. So to figure out the probability of yellow, it would be yellow over the total. So yellow is 10 over the total is 25. So we have to reduce it. So 5 goes, if we want to reduce it, we know both are divisible by 5. So the answer is 2 over 5. So the answer is 2/5. I should have put that in yellow, but that's okay. So we know the answer is 2 over 5. So a spinner with the numbers 1 to 15 is spun. What is the probability of a spinner landing on a prime number? Okay, prime numbers have factors only one in itself. So the first prime number from 1 through 15 is, actually, I'm going to just number 1 through 15, and then I'm going to circle the ones that are prime numbers. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the first prime number is 2 because you can only get 2 by multiplying 2 times 1. Second prime number is 3 because that's 3 times 1. That's the only way you can get 3. 5 is 5 times 1. 7 is 7 times 1. 8, there's multiple ways to get 8, multiple ways to get 9, multiple ways to get 10. There's only one way to get 11 times 1. There's only one way to get 13 times 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 15. 6 out of 15. Remember, we have to, oh, okay, 6 out of 15. And remember, we should reduce it. So we know that 3 goes into 6 2 times. And we know that 3 goes into 15 5 times. So the answer is 2/5. Letter A. So for this particular problem, we move the decimal so that the decimal lands between 7 and the 5, because that number has to be between 1 and 9. So it can't be, so actually all of the answers have it there. So we see that this is a really, really small number. So it's going to be times 10 to the however many places we moved, but let's count that. So we moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's going to be times 10 to the negative 10 because we moved it 10 places. So the answer is B. We know that this figure is a rectangle, and if AC is 6, then we know BD is also 6. And if we know the perimeter is 34, we know that AC and BD, put them together, you get 12. And then we know that the other two sides have to be a total of 22. So two sides have to be a total of 22. What does one side have to be? 11. So AB is 11 and CD is 11. So we know that AB, they want to know what AB is. Letter is D. So we have a right triangle. Right triangle whose legs are 5 and 12. And we have to know what the hypotenuse is. So let's see. Remember, right triangles are A squared plus B squared equals C squared to find the hypotenuse. So A squared is 5 squared plus 12 squared equals C squared. 25 plus 144 equals C squared. 25 plus 144 is 169 equals C squared. And then we take the square root of 169 equals square root. So C equals 13. And it is actually a Pythagorean triple. I think I talked to you about Pythagorean triples before. So 5, 12, 13 is a Pythagorean triple. So anytime you see legs of 5 and 12, you should know that the hypotenuse is going to be equal to 13. So A is 13. The length of each leg of an isosceles triangle is 17 centimeters. The perimeter is 62 centimeters. What is the length of the base? So isosceles triangle has two sides being equal. So we know side 17. One side is 17, one leg is 17. Then we know that the other leg is 17 because both opposite sides are equal there. So if we know that the whole perimeter, we just have to find out x. And if we know the entire perimeter is 62, and we know that two sides are 17 plus 17, we just subtract. We do 17 times 2 is 34. So we subtract the 34, and we get 28. So we know that this leg, the base actually equals 28. So the answer is C. So again, we just subtracted each leg, and once you subtract each leg, you're left with the length of the base. Okay, which number is not expressed in scientific notation? And we have to know that the number has to be between 1 and 10, that you are multiplying 10 times the exponent. So for instance, is 6 between 1 and 10? Yes. So that's okay. Is 0.25 between 1 and 10? It is not. So the answer is B. And 1.5 is between 1 and 10. So the answer is not C. 5.2 is between 1 and 10. So that is written properly. 4.2 is between 1 and 10. So the answer is B, because it is not. This number is not between 1 and 10. So that is not expressed in scientific notation.